All right, so we got cosine of 22.5. So that means we got to do a little work ahead of time. We'd already worked with this angle yesterday, so we know that 22.5 multiplied by 2 is going to be 45, right? Excuse me, so that means I'm going to use cosine of 45 over 2. What else do we have to know about this? It's going to be in the first quadrant, which means everything's positive, thank goodness. Okay? Cosine formula. Cosine formula is the 1 plus. 1 plus cosine over 2. And then I had a student first block today kind of give us a shortcut. Why do we have a plus or minus in front of the cosine and the sine formulas? Because we're taking the square root of a value, right? And it can be positive or negative. Now, she suggested this morning, well, if you know it's going to be positive, do we have to put plus or minus? No. And I thought, that's so clever. I hadn't thought about that. So we know that our values are all going to be positive. So I'm done. I'm not going to bring down that plus minus every time now. Y'all cool with that? You already did it. See, she suggested this morning, and I went, oh, well, that would be easy. Okay, I hadn't thought about that. Yes?
So, what if it was like plus, minus, plus? Would it be plus?
Yeah, because it's cosine.
Okay,
Just the cosine value of this angle. So this one, we're concentrating on that right there. Okay? If it were a different quadrant and we were talking about different functions, sine or tangent, then it just depends upon what we're looking for. Okay? Now, I'm going to plug everything in. I'm not going to write my signs because I don't need to. And I'm going to go ahead and write this old school because I like old school. Cosine of who? It's cosine of that angle that I wrote earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and write divided by 2. Are you guys cool with that? I'm just writing my fraction as old school. I have to know something about 45-degree angle. What do I know about the 45-degree angle? Root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. They're both positive because it's in the first quadrant. So now I'm going to substitute. And some folks always ask this. Do I put 1 plus cosine of root 2 over 2? No. I'm replacing this right here with this right here. I'm replacing that whole thing with root 2 over 2. Do you guys agree with that? Okay. So, here we go. 1 plus root 2 over 2 divided by 2 over 1. Y'all cool with that? All right. And then, doing work in my head here. Aren't you proud? I've got to have like denominators, so that's going to give me 2 plus root 2 over 2. Yes? Times who? 1/2. Everybody cool? Keep going. I multiply straight across. This binomial times 1 is that binomial over the square root of 4, which simplifies to what? 2 plus root 2 over plain old 2. It was the cosine value. We'd already determined it's positive. Am I done? Yeah. I'm done with that. Okay? Questions at all? Everybody cool? Yeah? All right. And then you said number 19? Tangent of pi over 8. Tangent of pi over 8. Okay? Pi over 8. Well, if here's 8 over 8, and this is 4 pi over 8, I guess pi over 8 is going to be in the first quadrant, won't it? Which means, again, everything's positive. Right on? Then I've got to, how do I determine tangent of what divided by 2? What do I do? Pi over 8 times 2, correct? Because that angle, which is going to give me pi over 4, which is what ordered pair? Root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. And this is tangent, okay? The tangent formula, changing gears. Tangent formula is this. I think it's 1 minus cosine over sine. Somebody please, that's from memory. Please check that, make sure that's right. Okay? Again, what we're doing, here's your cosine value, here's your sine value. 1 minus, my cosine value is root 2 over 2. I'm going old school and I'm dividing it by the sine value, which is root 2 over 2. Everybody cool? And then what do? 2 minus root 2 over 2 times who? 2 over root 2. Now, what happens? 2's cancel. What about these root 2's? No. I can't touch this binomial. They're holding hands, so to speak. So we're going to have 2 minus root 2 over root 2. Be careful. The conjugate of what? That's not a conjugate. A conjugate is when it's a binomial in the denominator. I have a monomial. I just need to rationalize this fraction by actually multiplying by what number? I'm actually multiplying by the value of 1, but it looks weird because it's going to be in the form of, somebody said it, root 2 over 2 over root 2 over 2. Okay, watch. This is a binomial times a monomial. Distribute. So I've got 2 root 2 minus root 4, correct? Which is, I'll fix it in a minute. And then root 2 times root 2 is root 4.
So when you add those two together,
I'm multiplying them together. If it would have been a root 3 times a root 2, then that would have had root 6. Yeah, I'm multiplying them. Simplify. 2 root 2 minus 2 over 2. That's a whole bunch of 2's. How would I fix this? My students, what did we do? I factored out the GCF. Some of you look at that and you go, boom, boom, boom. That's what you do because you're reducing. I factor out a GCF of 2, which leaves root 2 minus who? 1 over 2. And now, because I drilled this and drilled this, a monomial only cancels with a what? Monomial. So that allows me to cancel out what? My 2's that are by themselves, which gives me root 2 minus 1. Okay? If you're given these parameters, then you're going to have to find sine of the half angle, cosine of the half angle, and tangent of the half angle. Okay? Folks, we've got 2 angles here. What are the 2 angles that I have listed in the problem? I do have 2 pi. I have those angles listed there. They are listed, the inequality, they are listed because that's setting us up with some conditions. That's telling us which quadrant. That this angle who is lying. All right, so we're going to have prep work 4. This is the pre-prep work. I don't know what to call it. It's pre-prep 4, angle X. We got to take care of angle X first. And in just a few minutes, we're going to take care of our half angle, our angle x divided by 2. So the pre-prep. All right, you've already said that that compound inequality tells us which quadrant our angle is in. 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi. Which quadrant? That's quadrant 4, okay? That's quadrant 4. What are the signs for that quadrant? Positive, negative, negative, right? Cosine, sine, and tangent. You guys cool with that? Okay? Now, I'm also given, what about angle x? Look in the, I'm told that cosine of x is 3/5. What's that going to make me do? Triangle, Quentin, triangle. Yes, sir. Triangle. What? We're talking about angle x, so the triangle goes with angle x. Here we go. Same old triangle as always. Throw your x down there in the bottom, and it said the cosine is 3/5. So where's the 3, where's the 5? 3 is the adjacent, 5 is the hypotenuse, and thank God that this is a what? Whew! Thank goodness it's a triple. Because we're going to find the sine, the cosine, and the tangent, right? So for me, I'm going to find all of my values, my sine, my cosine, and my tangent. Okay? Get your card out. Just had a thought. Let me see somebody's card. All right, Chelsea. Let's check his card out, though. But if we're finding, we at least need to find which 2 values. I got to have, because of the formulas for the half angles, I've got to find the sine and the cosine of our angle x. Do you guys agree? You see that on your formula card? So that means that, what is the sine of that triangle right there? Oh, what's the third side, by the way? 4, hallelujah. What's the sine now? Because it's a triple. 3, 4, 5. If you were to do that Pythagorean equation, of course, 5 squared is equal to 3 squared plus x squared, and you would solve for x. Because we are given that the cosine of that angle is 3/5. I know from geometry, cosine is some old horse caught a horse adjacent over hypotenuse. It is adjacent to my angle x and the hypotenuse of my right triangle. Okay? We would have used our Pythagorean equation if we have to. Thank goodness we don't. The sine is going to be what one more time? Opposite over hypotenuse, 4/5. Refer to our signs, our SIGN signs. The sign value has to be positive or negative. Negative. And then we're given cosine of x. That's given to us. That was 3/5. I don't have to figure that at all. Okay? So really, we just shortened this up by 1 step. By 1 step. Oh, we're not finding tangent. Ooh. All right. That's the pre-work for angle x. Look at your formula card. No. If you look at your formula card, it says that the sine of the half angle, the cosine of the half angle, the tangent of the half angle is just, all we need are the sine and cosine values. I never need the tangent value for those formulas. Okay? Half angle, see, I need the cosine value for that one. I need only the cosine value here. Cosine, 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 sine. That's the only time I have to use cosine and sine. I never have to use my tangent value within my formula. I didn't solve for the tangent of x, right? With my triangle. The reason I didn't is because all I need right there is a cosine value. Okay, and it was given to me. Here, I need cosine value. It was given to me. Tangent, I need both of them.
So all you have to do is just divide both of these answers.
Hold that mouth. Hold that mouth. Don't. I don't know where that just came from. Hold that thought is what I was thinking, but I was thinking shut your mouth, hold that thought, hold that mouth. Sorry. All right. Sorry. Okay. Prep for the half angle. Here we go. Here we go. That was for angle X. We haven't even begun to talk about the half angle. Okay? Prep work for the half angle, X over 2. Folks, what was the parameter, that compound inequality that we were given? Right here it is. 3 pi over 2 less than X less than 2 pi, right? Well, if I have the angle X, how did, this is just thoughts, you don't have to write this down. How did X turn into X over 2? Oh, algebraically, that's all we did was divided by 2, right? So if I made this inequality look like that, because what I do to one side, or what I do to one thing, I have to do to everything, right? So we're going to divide everything by 2. Now, why am I doing that? Because now I'm not talking about angle X. I'm talking about X divided by 2. If this would have been X divided by 3, then yes, you're never going to have that in my class. We're only going to talk about half angles, yes.
So every time you divide everything?
Yes, ma'am. Every single time. Now, calculators. Some of y'all are just not going to divide 3 halves by 2 in your head. You will not do it. Does not matter how easy it is. You're not going to do it. So I want you to math frac that in your calculator. 3 halves divided by 2 gives you 3 pi over 4, which is less than our half angle, X over 2, which is less than plain old pi. What? No. You mean this pi? No, no, no. Look what we're doing. We were talking about angle X to begin with. Now I'm talking about my half angle, which is my angle divided by 2. We went through, divided everything by 2, and now our new inequality, which tells us where our half angle is, okay, we're going to think because my brain doesn't function in radians. Does y'all's? Mine doesn't. What is the angle 3 pi over 4? No. 3 pi over 4. It is over there. How much is it? Thank you. 135. You're supposed to know that. 3 pi over 4 is 135. You got to know that. Now I want you to look at it. That means that our half angle is in which quadrant? Quadrant dos. What are your signs for this? Yes, ma'am. I'm finding that you're going to see. Hold that thought. All right, quadrant 2 signs. Psst. Thank you. I had to think about it. What did we just solve for? Those signs, SIGN signs, are going to be the signs of my what? My actual angles, my actual answers. This right here. All that work for this. These are the signs for my answers. And you better highlight that. You better make that big, 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 big. Okay? It is a lot of prep work. Okay? But I am going to do this for you, which I can't stand, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to work sideways. Okay? And I want you to work sideways. It will save your paper because, you know, God forbid we use too much paper in a math class. Are we ready for this? This is all prep work. Prep work, y'all. We're not even done because we haven't even started. Now we got to find what? The sine of the half angle with the formula. The cosine of the half angle with a formula.
So we're not going to have like sine of 45 over 3.
Nope.
So we're just gonna have like sine of something less than x.
This is something different. This is something different from what we did yesterday because that's why I started out the lesson. Hold that thought. Listen, please. What we did yesterday is I gave you the angle to start with. I don't have an angle to start with today. I'm given a triangle. And I'm gathering my values from this triangle, okay? So, our answer, the half angle, is based upon this part, the second piece of the prep work. Okay? We're all related but different from what we did yesterday. Yes, ma'am.
So all that prep work for the second part is just so you don't get your time.
For your final answer.
So the two different quadrant thing.
Yes. Because we're talking about two different angles. We're talking about the original angle x and half of it. Well, half of it's going to be less, right? So we're talking about two different angles.
So how do you use the second part though to find your? So you're the little use your original.
Well, let's get started and you'll see. Okay?
So there's it's like sine of that equation divided by 2 the second one. The quadrant thing we're talking about, right?
I'm not sure what you said.
You know how those little equations is like 3 pi 5 by 2 less than x, you know, that is like sine of that degrees divided by 2, right?
Yes. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Here we go. First part, sine of x over 2. Write the formula. If you need to go get water, go get water. It's fine. 1 minus cosine x over 2. Okay? Now, y'all better stop it. What's our cosine x value? Well, that's from your pre-prep work because our angle x is here in the first column, okay? So, let's go back, and I'm going to be going back and forth the whole time. Do we have to put these signs here in the front? No, we determined that if we already know that my answer sign is going to be positive, I don't have to put the plus minus in the front. So let's go ahead and take care of that right off the bat. We know that it's going to be plus. We know it's going to be positive. I'm going to go old school. You know that from the beginning. And it's going to be 1 minus. I got to go back and look. Yours is right above. Your cosine value is 3/5, right on? Okay? Because I'm replacing cosine of x with the actual value.
So you don't write that?
No. I am replacing 3/5 any place I see cosine x.
Where'd you find x? Oh,
It was given to us.
you never really find x.
No. I use it to find the information for the half angle x over 2. We just use it. We're kind of like players. Kind of. Just kind of using this. Kick it to the curb. Done. I know. See? Here we go. Keep going. Keep going. Five minus 3 over 5. You guys are going to skip this step. I know you are. Y'all see what I'm doing? Divided by 2 over 1, which is 2/5 times 1 over 2, which is what's going to happen. The 2's cancel. And remember, the square root of 1 over the square root of 5. Folks, what is the square root of 1? This is going to be another step that most of you are going to skip, and that's fine. Now, for teaching purposes, I cannot do it. Is that my final answer? I need to rationalize it. Now, I'm going to just tell you, if it's nice, if it's going to be an easy rationalizing, then go on and rationalize it. This is easy. I'm going to multiply by what? Root 5 over root 5, which is equal to root 5 over plain old 5, right? Okay? What did we just find? I just found the sine value for the half angle, correct? Okay? Hot dog. Now what? Now find cosine. There are 5 pieces to this problem, Damien. Yes, sir. It sure is. Isn't that fun? You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Here, it's going to make you tough. Here we go. Cosine. Cosine, cosine. I don't know why I just did that. It's a different formula. Oh, I know why I did it. Because I want to go back and look. I want to see which one of these signs in the front of this formula that I can drop. Dagnabbit. It will be negative y. Because in my answer, my cosine value has to be negative. So, negative square root of 1 plus 3/5 divided by 2. Right on? Okay? Solve and see what you get. You do that. You don't need me to talk you through that. Just kidding. Hey, what do we have? How many of you had negative 2 root 5 over 5? Okay. Look at that. Look at it. Think about it. This is like Algebra 2 on steroids, folks. The trig is the prep work. The Algebra 2 is the second piece. That's all it is. That's all we're doing. Our cosine value is set. Now, I told you to, I don't remember what I told you, but it was funny. Hold your mouth. Okay. Why did I tell you to do that? Listen to that. Remember when we had tangent of 2x of the double angle, and we said that the sine of the double angle divided by cosine of the double angle would be equal to tangent of the double angle? Some of you on your quiz yesterday, you pulled the values of x, and you didn't choose the sine of the double angle and the cosine of the double angle, okay? Pardon? On that thing yesterday that I handed back to you, that I returned, okay? Yes, ma'am. Shortcut. Folks, the only time I recommend for you to use this shortcut is when you have already solved for sine of the half angle and cosine of the half angle. Only use the shortcut when? Bless you. We have a sine of the half angle value and a cosine of, bless you, the half angle value. That's the only time you stop it. But bless you anyway. It's the only time you can do this because tangent of the half angle is equal to sine of the half angle divided by cosine of the half angle. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is the same principle applies to half angles as it did with the double angles. Okay? But, and you did it right. Some people plug the wrong values in. They'd never found the double angle, and it didn't work. Okay? Folks, what did we just find sine of the half angle to be? No, you do not. You absolutely don't have to. But you can. You can use your formula. Okay? Root 5 over 5. I'm going old school. My cosine value I'm doing this, okay? No, this is the only shortcut. We just solved for sine of the half angle. It's root 5 over 5. The cosine of the half angle is negative 2 root 5 over 5, right? If you use the formula. If you use the formula. And if you use the formula, that's fine. You should still get the same value that I get. Okay? Yeah, if you want to use that shortcut, I'm not banking on that. I will not take that gamble. I will not do it. It's probably going to work out. I cannot do that. I just can't. Cannot do it. All right, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. And then, if you know how to multiply fractions, what's going to happen? My 5's cancel. Would the root 5's cancel? Yes, because they are part of a monomial. Isn't root 5 a monomial? One term? It's just treated like a variable, okay? They're not holding hands with nobody. They're free. They're free. Now look what's going to happen. How are you lost? We are cross-canceling fractions.
Well, no, but negative 2 is root 5. So
No, they're not. They are not added or subtracted. The only way you hold hands is if you add or subtract. Yes, sir. Shh. Well, if you didn't want to cross-cancel, you don't have to write this down. I just want to prove to you that I might know a little bit. Okay? Too much work, so we're just going to stop, right? Let's just stop. Let's don't do it. You can't stop. Don't give up. This is part of it, okay? It's just part of it. All right, Damien, here we go. When we are multiplying fractions, I'm going to multiply straight across my numerators, straight across my denominators, okay? 5 times root 5 is 5 root 5. 5 times negative 2 root 5 is negative 10 root 5. Now let's reduce. What's 5 divided by negative 10? How would I simplify that? My root 5's cancel. 5 over negative 10 is just 1 over negative 2, okay? I reduce within my fractions where you may wait until the end to reduce, and it's fine if you do. It's just multiplying fractions, though. That's all. Don't make it difficult. If you have trouble thinking about these radicals, think of it as a variable. Think of it as an x. Okay? If the x is straight side by side to a number, you can cancel that out. It's not holding hands with anybody. Okay? Questions? Did you use the formula? Did anybody use the formula? Did you get the same value? Okay, see? It doesn't matter what you do. You can use the tangent formula. It should work out. You can use the shortcut, but only use the shortcut for tangent when you have already solved for what? Sine of the half angle and cosine of the half angle. Negative 1/2 is the tangent of our half angle. That's our answer. Right there. Okay? Questions at all? It did. It did. Oh, half a page. Yes, ma'am.
When you multiply radical, it's like
So, you're given that the cosecant is 3. Your parameters are 90 degrees is less than x is less than 180. And we got to find all 3. Ah. Why did I do that? Had to switch things up on you. Have to make you think a little bit. It's just the opposite. So, what's 1/3, Damien? Sine is just 1/3. Big deal, right? That's not so bad. What else? It is quadrant 2. Okay? How'd you know that? Because 90 degrees is up here. Here to here. That's 90 degrees to 180. Do you guys agree? Is anything going to change about the process? No. Just the way we got the information is different. Okay? So, we got to do the pre-prep for angle X. You've already told me that it was quadrant 2 and that those signs are what? Negative, positive, negative, right? What do we do now? How about this? Not yet. Not on the pre. Now we got to do the triangle. Hold up. Now we got to do the triangle. Sine is 1/3, so that means my opposite side is 1, and my hypotenuse is 3. Now this is the part that's going to make you want to smack your mama. Not really. Don't ever do that. What's wrong with that? Maria, what's wrong with that? It's not a triple, Miss Perry, no. But we suck it up and we do what? Pythagorean equation. 5, 12, 13. Write those down somewhere. The triples are 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13. And those are the ones that show up the most. What? 5, 12, 13. Okay? All right, Pythagorean equation. Here we go. Some of you already know it. If you do, go work on ahead. Now, before you work ahead, because some of you are, and I know that, let me just tell you, when you see these answers, and I checked it with the back of the book just to be on the safe side, you are going to get a nasty beast of an answer that you do not have to rationalize. I'm giving you permission to not rationalize these answers. You can leave the radical in the denominator because, I know, when you see these, you're going to be like, oh my Lord, what in the world? All right, now, I found my third side, and I know that it's 2√2. What are the only two values that I have to find? Sine and cosine. And one of them was given to you. Sine is already given to you, 1/3. cosine of x, what's it going to be? 2 root 2 over 3. And what do we have to be careful about? The sine, it's a negative cosine value. So that's your prep work for angle x. Now we got to talk about angle who? Now I got to talk about the angle x over 2. So we take the same inequality, and what am I going to do to it? You guys talk me through this. You can do this. Divide everything by 2, which gives me what? (45 to 90). What quadrant? Quadrant 1. What's all of our signs? Thank goodness. Hallelujah, right? Am I done with that? I'm done with that because it's giving me what I need. What do I need? I just need to know my signs. I need to know that every one of my signs are going to be what? Positive. Every one of them. Okay? All three. Sine of the half angle, cosine of the half angle, tangent of the half angle. This prep for the half angle, all it helps us do is determine the signs for our answers. Okay? So now, folks, find sine of the half angle, cosine of the half angle, tangent of the half angle. Do not rationalize. I'm giving you permission to not rationalize. When you check your answers in the back of the book, you'll see they didn't rationalize. No, keep it like that. That's it. Bless you. I don't know. That same question was asked first block. I don't know that it will always work out that way. I'm going to do the work because I'm afraid not to. And if I tell you that it's going to work every time, there will be that time that it's not going to work and somebody's going to go, but you said, and I don't want that. I'd rather you just do the extra work and be done with it. You guys work. I'm going to show the work here, okay? You check your odd answers. That's an odd answer, so it's in the back of the book to make sure you're on the right track. I'm going to go on and work this out so you will see and you'll have something to check your work against. But you got to do this. If you don't do these problems, you will not get them. We've got 1 minus negative 2 root 2 over 3 divided by 2. Are you with me so far? Okay? I've got minus a negative, which should be plus a positive. I also know that this is going to end up being 3 over 3 is 1, right? Because I have to have like denominators. So this binomial here, this 2-term thing in the parentheses, becomes 3 plus 2 root 2 over 3 divided by 2 over 1. You with me? Because it's like having 3 plus 2x, and they're not like terms. Okay? This is actually like having 3 over 3 plus 2 root 2 over 3, and I'm smushing them together. 3 plus 2 root 2 over 3. Okay? That's what I'm doing. Now, keep moving. I have positive 3 plus 2 root 2 over 3 times 1/2 because I'm multiplying by the reciprocal, yes? Okay? That means I'm going to have the square root of 3 plus 2 root 2, all of that over 6. Do you agree? That's what's in the back of the book, and that's why I checked it before. I don't know about y'all. I don't want to rationalize that. That's yucky. It's horrible. No, why can I not simplify my 3 and my 6? Because this is a monomial, one term. This is part of a binomial. They can't mess with them. Don't be trying to mess with this woman, Damien. Okay? That's algebra 2. Okay? Now, that's my sign value. How many of you had that value on your paper? Hands up. Folks, you better figure this out. Okay? You have to. Cosine. Cosine value of my answer is also going to be positive. So I'm going to drop that plus minus, and that equation, that formula is 1 plus cosine, which means it's going to kind of sort of be the same work, isn't it? Now, if you were paying attention, I think Morgan said, but do I really have to do all that? Yeah, you kind of, I'd almost be afraid not to do it. If you want to take that gamble, go ahead and gamble. I'm not a gambler, so I'm going to do the work. Here we go. 1 plus, no. Like denominators would give me 3 minus 2 root 2 over 3 times 1/2. Same thing all over again. And I come back over here, and I get 3. That's square root of 3 minus 2 root 2, all of that over 6. Yes? My value is positive because my answer says that the cosine of the half angle is going to be positive. Are you with me, yes or no? Okay. Okay. That's my cosine value. Now, Beth went the route of taking the sine of the half angle divided by the cosine of the half angle. Kelly did too, I can tell by the look on her face. That was fun, wasn't it? Because that's going to be a bunch of funky multiplying by the conjugate. There are times you don't want to do that. There are times you want to revert back to using what? The formula. Use the formula. The formula was, or the one we want to use, is it 1 minus cosine x over sine x? Okay. This is easy. 1 minus, my cosine of the value, cosine x is what? Negative 2 root 2 over 3. I know. Now I've forgotten. Is it negative 2 root 2 over 3? Okay. Divided by my sine value, which was what? 1/3. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Boom. I have to work down. Sorry. It's going to be... Does everybody see what I'm doing? Where did I lose you?
Oh, okay. I plugged in the cosine x.
Just for our notes, I need this to be said, and I need to be written in my notes mainly. Why use the formula this time? Because too many radicals. Yuck. We didn't even rationalize. You know, if we don't rationalize, it's got to be gross, right? Yes, ma'am.
Why are you saying?
Let's finish. Crossing out my 3's. How many of you had, for your tangent value, 3 plus 2 root 2? Whew. How are you with that? Now, Am I going to give you 10 problems on this? No. No, 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 no. Okay? I won't give you 9 either. Yes. I could, but I'm not going to give you one. That would be a great bonus question. That'd be a good bonus.
Okay, why would we design
Work. And you're going to get started on this before you leave today. I don't care if you have 1 second left. You're not going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs or talk to your neighbors about what you're going to do this weekend, because I don't want to hear those conversations. I want to hear trig conversations, what I want to hear. This is what you're going to do. 260. Hold that thought. 29, 30, and 33. 29, 30, and 33. Folks, let me tell you something. I want you to look very carefully. Why am I giving you those particular numbers? 2 of them are odd. 2 of them you can check your answers. The third one, bless you. The third one, you got to, at some point, we got to take, bless you. You got to do this on your own. If you want to do 29 and 33 first and then do 30, do it that way. But you got to do these. Don't do this homework. It will bust you in the end. Do this now. Get started on it now.